Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into Unfiltered. It is a football Friday. I know it's August 15th. I know it's only a preseason game. But what else are we going to talk about? The Phillies' offensive struggles? We'll get to it. I know we're frustrated about the Phillies. They lose again last night in Washington. But thankfully, the New York Mets lost as well. You don't make up any ground, or I should say extend the lead. But at least you didn't lose any. But we're going to start with the Eagles because it is a football Friday, and who better to spend the football Friday with us than our Birds insider himself, Andrew DeCecco, in studio, Ricky Bo, with us for all 4 hours.
I thought he was going to say hi to me first. Thanks a lot, Andrew. Hey, we got him on for 4 hours, man. No other show here could say that.
You're damn right. AD and the Hizzle. What's up, AD?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
All right, so we're going to start with the Eagles, and we will get to the Phillies, of course, because it was frustrating to watch again last night. It's just baseball, though. I'm throwing that out there again. I'm not overreacting yet. We'll see what happens. We'll get you a lineup a little bit later. But let's start with the Birds. So they finish up their second of 2 joint practices yesterday. Today, closed to the media. I'm assuming it was a walkthrough, Andrew, today?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
So just to walk through today, they'll be back on the field at Lincoln Financial tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Me and AD will be down there. But Nick Sirianni.
Take it in again.
Ricky Bo's got other things to do. But Nick Sirianni spoke 2 days ago about some of the things they've learned in these joint practices. Before I get what Andrew's learned, let's listen to Nick.
Yeah, I thought it was really good back and forth. Great to get this work in against a good team and get it in against coaches that, you know, I got a lot of respect for Coach Stefanski and the things that they do. And so it was really good work and good back and forth yesterday. You know, great opportunity to evaluate our players against different players. So we got a lot of good work in yesterday.
So Cleveland, we don't look at them as necessarily a good team, but Myles Garrett just wreaks havoc on everybody. Kevin Stefanski is a pretty damn good coach. He won Coach of the Year a couple of years ago when they somehow went on that postseason run with like their 6th quarterback, Joe Flacco, coming up off the couch. So you were down there for both days really observing everything that was going on. I mean, what was your biggest takeaway?
Myles Garrett is a practice wrecker.
He's a beast, dude.
Well, yeah, there were many times where he pretty much had to pull up and allow the Eagles offense to run. And I think, Myles Garrett has the ability to do that to any player. But the Eagles yesterday, Lane Johnson was resting, and Brett Toth was in there at left guard for injured Landon Dickerson. So, context is important here as well. A.J. Brown didn't practice, and I focused mostly on the defense, really exclusively on the defense on Thursday. And then Wednesday, I fixated on the offense. And I thought the offense lacked for explosive plays, and there were times where I thought Jalen Hurts held the ball a little bit more than he has all of training camp, but sometimes that's what happens when you're seeing different looks and you're working on different things, and they moved the ball in a different way. They were very effective in the ground game. I thought Will Shipley had a really strong couple of practices. I thought A.J. Dillon did some really good things as well, and Saquon also rested yesterday, so I should mention that, but the running game was pretty strong.
See, I don't understand the resting because what we do hear from Sirianni all the time is these practices against when these other teams come in are the most important practices of the summer. So
yeah, but
why,
they got a
would
lot.
you...
Saquon and
yesterday, I know he got a ton of carries
on Wednesday
or 2 days ago. Yeah.
And really, you know what you're getting in Saquon Barkley,
Yeah,
so why roll him out there?
And Lane Johnson, too.
And I guess A.J. Brown. I'm just saying.
So why roll them out there? And, it was a short practice, but the first practice was a little chippy. It was a little fiery, and you don't want to put your marquee players out there if you already know that they're going to be ready to go September 4th.
Yeah, I get what Ricky's saying, but you're right. When you're talking about guys like Lane, you know what you got. Saquon, you know what you got. Now, A.J. wasn't just rest, though. A.J.'s still dealing with that hamstring issue? Or is it just
hamstring. Yeah, he didn't practice. And it really is something that they're just being precautionary for. The goal is to get your players to September 4th as healthy as possible. So, again, A.J. falls in that category of a player who you already know what he's going to do. He's going to show up week 1 and in all likelihood and be able to produce at a high level as he has during his tenure here in Philadelphia. So I don't know how much value he would have gotten being out there and trying to push it, even in individual drills.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. And now they're going to be back on the field tomorrow. So you're not going to see any of the major starters in this game tomorrow. Be very similar to the preseason game 1. Jalen Hurts isn't going to play. your starting wide receivers in terms of AJ with the hamstring. Devontae Smith's not going to play. A lot of the guys along that offensive line won't, and on defense. But just like game one was important to watch, this is another game that's going to be important to watch because there are still starting positions up for grabs. And one of the biggest ones that I want to see again now is going to be that other cornerback position because the first game against the Cincinnati Bengals, we all left it thinking, oh, my God, what are they going to do? Keely Ringo looked bad. Adoree Jackson looked average at best. Now we're hoping to see some Jacorian Bennett. And from what you've told us, Andrew, Jacorian Bennett didn't really step up in these joint practices either. So I'm assuming we're going to see all three of those guys going up against this Cleveland Browns team. Now, you're not going to see Jamar Chase like you did last week, but Judy's a pretty good wide receiver. Now, will he play, do you think? Do you think you'll see Judy out there?
Yeah, I would imagine so. And just one quick note on Jacorian Bennett. That day that you were referring to was Wednesday, and that was more or less his second practice with the Eagles. So, again, context is important, and he did not have a good day. But he's still learning the defense. He's still trying to familiarize himself and get his footing, and that's going to take some time. The Eagles have about 3 weeks to get him up to speed, and it is a three-man competition with Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, and Jacorian Bennett.
So let me ask this again, and I think I asked Ricky this earlier this week, and you may have even been here. When you look at this defensive back room now, and it's going to be a battle between Keely and Adoree and now Jacorian Bennett, why didn't they just bring back Isaiah Rodgers? Like, I trust Howie Roseman. I know in Howie we trust, and he makes a lot of great decisions. But why not just bring back Rodgers? He didn't get paid a lot of money in Minnesota. That could have solved a lot of these issues.
You and I had a conversation about 3 weeks ago, and you said, which off-season departure are the Eagles going to miss the most? And I said Isaiah Rodgers because he's a plug-and-play starter. And I thought he did some really good things last season when he had to step in at either cornerback spot. Twitchy, he knows the defense, he has some ball skills, but he's not here anymore. He's in Minnesota, and now the Eagles have this three-way cornerback competition that they're going to have to find a winner, and they're going to have to find one relatively fast.
Now, is there any chance Mac McWilliams gets into this?
I love that you asked me about Mac McWilliams.
Well, I know he's been in the slot, but is there a chance
the last three practices, Ricky, to your point, he has been working outside. So he has that versatility. I just don't know if he can be an outside corner.
Right.
I mean, he's 5'10".
I was just curious.
But they like him a lot. And I think the fact that they are sort of cross-training him at both positions suggests that, if he has a big game, maybe he throws his hat in the ring.
Yeah, Mac.
See this? Yeah. I mean, this is turning into like The Price is Right. That's what it's turning into. It's like a game show right now.
You John Kincaid right now?
Who?
What, The Price is Right?
What about The Price is Right?
Well, John Kincaid, he can't tell us what happened, but he was on The Price is Right.
I've heard him bring it up on the show in the mornings. I have no idea why he's bringing it up.
It's the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I've heard him. I don't know why he's bringing it up. What's going on?
I don't know. I think he was on the show.
Anyways, no, my whole point is it's like a game. It's like they keep throwing more and more in the mix because somebody's got to step up.
Now, is there any scenario where you see them go outside and bring someone else in? Like one of the rumors I keep seeing, and I don't think he's that great of a player, maybe a change of scenery will help him out, but is Asante Samuel Jr. He's still out there in the free agency world.
Yeah, you guys know me. I don't deal in rumors. I don't really address that. But what I can tell you is I don't know that it would make a lot of sense to go out and try to get another player when the window and getting them onboarded is shrinking. You have to worry about who you have in-house, and then maybe at the trade deadline, if you're not satisfied with what you're getting and teams are exploiting that side with a heavy volume of passes, then maybe you make a change there. But I think right now, one of those three has to step up, maybe even Mac McWilliams, Ricky, to your point.
That would be pretty wild.
That would be pretty interesting. Because think about it. I mean, Cooper DeJean, he was in the slot last year. They're thinking about sliding him at times whenever they can.
And I think in order to slide Cooper DeJean and do that, Mac McWilliams would be the logical replacement at nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mac McWilliams, I mean, fifth-round rookie out of UCF. I thought he would definitely be slotted in as a slot corner, but you said he was taking outside reps, too.
The last three practices, yes, but he has largely repped as a nickel back during most of training camp.
All right, so that's certainly something to watch tomorrow is how does Mac McWilliams perform? How does Jacorian Bennett, Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, how do all these guys perform?
Well, we've seen burnt toast in game number one on both of them.
Hey,
I'm just being
You
honest.
leave my Keely Ringo alone.
Hey, I'm being honest. I saw what I saw.
Now, I'm starting to get
You
upset.
want me to bring Jamar Chase back?
I have been very high on Keely Ringo. And if you've listened to this show and you've listened to me and Andrew, even when we were doing Birds Insiders together last year, I was very high on Ringo. I thought this kid had everything you needed to be a shutdown corner in this league. He's big, he's fast, he's athletic. But something you've pointed out a lot, Andrew, is he lacks ball skills, man. When the ball's in the air, he seems to really struggle.
Gets lost.
And you can't succeed in this league if you don't have ball skills at the defensive back position. But look, we're going to do a lot of Eagles talk today. I promise we will get to the Phillies a little bit later, but we're doing a little Football Friday. This is kind of a preview of what you're going to get all football season long. Our man Andrew DeCecco will be with us every single Friday for the whole show. So coming up, we'll introduce our Twitter poll, which I think is a fun poll today. We're asking about offensive MVP for your Philadelphia Eagles. But as we talk about the cornerback position, which is kind of a thin position group right now, we're going to take a look at some of the deepest position groups on this team. Because believe it or not, some of the position groups where last year maybe you looked at it and thought they were weak or they were thin have become really deep in this offseason. So we're going to get into that as well. It's Football Friday here on Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic